Part 41. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 401. Boom. The bomb exploded and the whole earth shook violently. When hundreds of millions of players and NPCs are at a loss. In the north of the commercial prince's royal city, a huge mushroom cloud appeared in the sky. The terrifying and hot air waves instantly filled a radius of 50,000 meters. With a damage power of up to 100,000 points, more than 20 million players in the surrounding area were instantly killed. The experience value in Suchen's experience storage tank instantly skyrocketed, adding a full 50 billion experience points. Looking at the big mushroom grown by himself, Suchen showed a happy smile like an old farmer. The war overlord and others on the edge of the battlefield were horrified. Looking at the huge mushroom cloud in the north, he lost his voice and said, "Is this a nuclear bomb?" Then he suddenly reacted. Retreat. 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 Return. This must be the human race's tears of gods crying. That King's Landing finally couldn't help it anymore and used a killer weapon. As the commander-in-chief, War Overlord was the first to send a message back to the nearby city. As for the 50 million players on the battlefield, they were destined to die, so there was no need to notify them. At the same time, War Overlord, who was in extreme horror, actually still felt in his heart. It's a bit of a secret. Junlin, this guy, is so impatient that he wastes such precious tears of gods crying among these players who are originally used as cannon fodder. Then when the Blood Realm space is successfully established later, the pressure on the gods and demons of the 6 realms will be much less. In other words, their 6 realms camp's chances of winning will be even greater. Even though they did not receive orders from their superiors, the frightened 6 realm camp players on the battlefield turned around one after another. Run away. Damn it. Terrible. I want to go home. I am the main player. I'm not cannon fodder. I don't want to die in such an unclear way. Damn him. You want me to die, but I won't agree. I want to live. Survive until the end of total war. Get the legendary equipment. The panic caused by Chun, father of the bomb, quickly spread on the huge battlefield. Some players simply turn on the return to city technique directly. However, it takes a full 30 seconds to cast the return to the city spell. Suchen said that there is no need to go to such trouble and he will send you back to the city for free. Boom. Just 10 seconds later. The second spring, father of bombs detonated. More than 20 million players northwest of the royal city perished in the flames. Boom, boom, boom. Immediately afterwards, a perfectly shaped mushroom cloud rose from the west, southwest, and south. The ground shook violently every 10 seconds, shaking very rhythmically. In just 40 seconds, almost all of the 100 million players in the 6 realms died. Only a very small number of players who carry resurrection scrolls can save their bodies and wait for resurrection. However, resurrection is actually the beginning of another kind of nightmare. Those players who died waiting to be resurrected, or died directly back to a nearby city, were horrified to find that under their IDs, there was an additional state of Spring of Tigers and Wolves. Spring of Tigers and Wolves, it can make units whose strength does not exceed the demigod level enter an absolute estrus state, and their desire for the opposite sex reaches the max level. Everyone's whole body began to feel inexplicably hot. His eyes gradually turned red. The world in front of me gradually turned pink. A faint sound rang in my ears. Everything you see around you, especially players of the opposite sex and NPCs, becomes extremely tempting. People can't help but get closer, closer, and closer, until a series of thunder strikes. Ding! You have violated the game's no touching by players of the opposite sex ban. Punished by thunder. Please strictly abide by the rules and regulations of the game and keep the 8 honors and 8 disgraces in your mind. The city is at the resurrection point. The brilliant thunder almost never stopped. Countless players were hacked to pieces. It takes an average of 2 or 3 deaths before everyone understands. As long as the negative state of Tiger and Wolf Spring does not disappear, they will never get up. Damned. Which bastard did this? It's so perverted. Will this state last for a full 12 hours? Damn it. 12 hours have passed, the battle is over. I still earn a shitty amount of contribution points. Deficit. What a loss. I died 3 times, 3 pieces of equipment were exploded, my level dropped by 1.5 levels, and I didn't even get anything. I knew that going against the god of death would bring no good results. Being a cannon fodder would be such a loss. I should have known I wouldn't come here. In the time and space fortress. Suchen looked at the skyrocketing experience value in the experience storage tank and nodded with satisfaction. Well, this wave has increased by 200 billion experience, not bad, not bad. At this time, Ying suddenly transmitted a message. Master, when I was setting the coordinates for space teleportation, I accidentally discovered a special coordinate point. This coordinate point is related to nearly 50 coordinates on the battlefield, covering the north and west. The whole area in the south, I don't know what it is used for. Oh. Send me the coordinates. Suchen's heart moved and he said to Ying. According to the coordinates sent by Ying, Suchen quickly locked onto a nearby small town called Uxie City on the virtual map projected by the Solomon crystal ball. The city. Zoomed in, penetrated the buildings, and quickly browsed. Suchen was surprised and delighted to find that in this small city, which was only 5 kilometers long and wide, there were more than 3 million priests stationed. All of them were 6. There are all second-level high-level nannies in the world camp. Relating to what Ying said just now, the coordinates here in Uxie City are related to the coordinates of 50 places on the battlefield. Suchen suddenly thought, I am afraid, the nanny here is the 20-nation alliance is specially used to rush to the battlefield and resurrect one's own players. Good guys, in order to avoid my bombs, you actually came up with such a way. It's really hard for you. Now Suchen closed the crystal ball and took a peek. Let Ying activate the teleportation device and locate Uxie City. At this time, in Uxie City, more than 3 million priests equipped with resurrection technique are getting ready to go. They all learned from the guild and camp channels that hundreds of millions of players from their camp died on the battlefield just now. However, the superiors did not issue support or resurrection orders. They must have waited until the battlefield was confirmed to be safe before allowing these precious and fragile priests to be dispatched. It was just that the various curses and cries that suddenly erupted on the camp channel made them a little confused. What's the situation? Have some people returned from the dead? How come some people die 2 or 3 times in a row? Trigger game ban? Resurrection and spring? Is there such a terrible negative state? The vast majority of players who are still on the battlefield, waiting for their priests to be resurrected, see this situation and dare not return to the city to resurrect. Well, let our souls continue to float on the battlefield for 12 hours. Compared with being bombarded to death or struck to death by lightning, this state is safer and more comfortable. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 402. Suddenly I realized, it would be safer for us to stay in Uxie City. A beautiful priest from the Six Realms camp, flipping through various messages on the camp channel, said with sadness in her heart. Yes. Being in that tiger and wolf spring state is like taking a strong aphrodisiac, and it's even worse than death. I don't want to be touched by a stinky man. Ahem, we stinky men don't want to be touched by you women. Real men welcome men, be strict with themselves, and treat others with ease. Grass. You damn faggot, stay away from me. More than 3 million priest players in Uxie City were discussing heatedly. Suddenly there was a sharp roar in the air. Everyone looked up involuntarily. Only a small black dot fell from the sky. What is that? A tyrannical president descended from heaven? Or a showdown with rich second-generation boyfriend? Fuck you, nympho. That's a bomb. Run away. Boom. A perfect mushroom cloud rose in response. The small UXZ city was instantly razed to the ground. The more than 3 million second-level high-level priests that the 20-nation alliance had painstakingly hoarded here were all perished in the sea of fire and instantly. Kill. When these senior priest players floated out of their souls, they were horrified to find that above their heads, there was a negative state of spring of tigers and wolves. The state lasts for up to 12 hours. The war overlord and others had just escaped from the battlefield and returned to the nearby city not long ago. Suddenly, we received the bad news that 100 million players were killed by bombs on the front line. They could not be resurrected or were struck to death by lightning after resurrecting. This is equivalent to the fact that within 12 hours, the Six Worlds camp completely lost hundreds of millions of players. The opponent's move was too cruel. The advantage of players is infinite resurrection. Now that they are being messed with, no one can go to the battlefield. Fortunately, these people are just our weaker players. If the main battle and elite players are bombed like this, then we will stop playing. Yes. Fortunately, we brought all the priests to UXZ City in advance and did not act rashly. Otherwise, our losses will be great. These priests are all elites and main battle players. They are an important guarantee for our sustainable battle. The war overlord's face was extremely gloomy. With spring of tigers and wolves, a bomb with such arrogant and vicious attributes, it goes without saying that it was 100% made by this guy Junlin. Everyone in the server, from players to NPCs, except him, who has the ability to create such a weird bomb. After pondering for a long time, he used a virtual video conference to tell the public to be on the safe side, move the more than 3 million priests in UXZ City to a farther place. UXZ City is too close to the battlefield, I always feel uneasy. The war overlord hasn't finished speaking yet. A scream suddenly sounded in the meeting. A commander who was responsible for contacting the pastor of UXZ City suddenly screamed in horror, "No! UXZ City is gone." Bang! The weapons in the hands of the war overlord suddenly fell. With a hoarse voice and a somewhat hollow look, he asked, "No more? No more, what does it mean?" Just disappeared. It was completely razed to the ground by bombs. The more than 3 million priests we had hoarded inside were all dead. And no one dares to resurrect. Why don't you dare to be resurrected? What did the war overlord think of? But he still asked unwillingly. Spring of tigers and wolves. More than 3 million pastors, all of them were hit by the 12-hour tiger and wolf spring. The commander's shrill scream echoed throughout the virtual conference hall. Spring of tigers and wolves. Wolf spring. 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 All the guilds present in the meeting turned pale in an instant. These more than 3 million priests are almost all they have of the second-level wet nurse with resurrection. Because one person has cleared the Breaking Realm dungeon and completed the second job transfer mission, the priest, a profession that is not good at fighting, has an advantage. As a result, the proportion of priests currently joining the Six Realms camp is very small, less than 5 million. Among these 5 million, more than 3 million priests with the best technical strength and equipment were all arranged by them to UXZ City in advance. Just to protect it and avoid being affected by the war between the two sides. Who would have thought that such a seemingly perfect strategy would lead to more than 3 million high-end priests, all of whom would be taken advantage of by the other party? The war overlord's complexion changed from white to black, from black to red, and from red to purple. Finally, he roared angrily, "I love you better than King's Landing. I and you are at odds with each other." The panic of the players in the Six Realms camp did not affect the NPC forces of each religion. The 6 holy level spring, father of bombs dropped by Suchen one after another, greatly accelerated the progress of the Six Realms forces in constructing the blood domain space. In the meeting hall of a small town near the battlefield, the projections of dozens of great elders from each sect looked up at the bloody aura rising into the sky in the east. Saint Aokishang of the Jade Dragon Temple said coldly, "The blood evil energy is enough, it is time to activate the blood domain space." The godson of the Paradise sect Bliss Jinkong clasped his hands together and said, "Amitabha, my Buddha is compassionate. And let this godson redeem hundreds of millions of wronged souls." "Fuck you. You bald donkey, get away," Asmodeus, the great elder of the Solomon sect, scolded. At this time, this godson of the Supreme Bliss sect still wants to take the opportunity to snatch the death energy of hundreds of millions of innocent souls so that he can turn it into the power of merit for their Supreme Bliss sect. It is simply what a bastard. Asmodeus's true form in the Solomon cult and the true form of Sylvia, the leader of the Dark Temple, were teleported to the edge of the battlefield in the Merchant Principality's royal city. They each held the artifacts of the two religions, changing the seals and chanting the spells. Using the special methods of the ghost and demon religions, the blood evil gas left by the hundreds of millions of dead souls on the battlefield was aroused. Suddenly, countless purple-black stinking gases appeared on the majestic battlefield that stretched for nearly 1,000 kilometers. Rising from the earth, and gradually condensed and gathered in the sky. The sky blocked out the sun and enveloped the entire battlefield like a barrier. The blood domain space, which can isolate half of the power of the rules of the divine continent, gradually condenses. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 403. This scene made the billions of players watching the live broadcast stunned. The belated commentator exclaimed, it turns out that so many people died and such a fueling tactic was launched just to condensate such a bloody barrier. Too cruel. The key is, our 6-sphere alliance and 20-nation alliance, the beacon of the liberal civilized world, seem to be complicit in these NPCs? A well-known commentator immediately said, no, this is not cruel. This is a kind of advanced humanity and compassion. Only in this way can the war be ended earlier and more people enjoy the fruits of victory. So, the King of Death, who is throwing bombs everywhere and accelerating the process, also has high-level humanity and compassion. There is currently no direct evidence to prove that the bomb was thrown by the killing god Junlin. Public commentator, I think it must be the bomb dropped by King's Landing. The people of Country Z are born with bad qualities. How can they be compared with the 20 civilized and free countries? Suddenly, a large number of F***CK floated across the live broadcast barrage. WTF? This damn guy is explaining a game and it's known that dog licking is disgusting. I'm the root of your whole family. Go away to your civilized and free 20 countries. In what age are you still using this rhetoric to slander and deceive people? Unplug and switch to live streaming. Because there are a huge number of players in Country Z. The number of live broadcast views dropped sharply due to the well-known dog-licking reasons. The director opposite the live broadcast room was so frightened that he gestured and winked desperately. A professional game analyst immediately changed the topic and said in a deep voice, let's talk about it. Although there is no evidence, a bomb with such power and special properties was most likely thrown by Junlin. However, although he killed hundreds of millions of players in the Six Realms camp, he also accelerated the process of building a bloody barrier in the Six Realms. Based on previous calculations, this barrier is most likely used to isolate the gods' continent and suppress the rules, allowing the Six Realms camp to summon more and more powerful gods and demons. Junlin's impulsive actions may have also accelerated the demise of his free and independent camp. The other commentators nodded. Good. Today is different from the past. In the past, the 6 realm camps used to summon a single or a small number of gods and demons against Junlin and his Dragon City forces. But this time, the coverage of this bloody barrier is too wide, and the number of gods and demons that can be summoned is likely to reach an unprecedented and astonishing number. The victory of the 6 realm camp against the independent camp is the general trend. Even the government of Country Z has joined the 6 realms camp. I think King's Landing can't support it alone with only the forces of Dragon City and the alliance of the 5 races. Hearing everyone's analysis, the public commentator was so excited that he couldn't stand it for a long time and quickly interrupted, "That's so right. A fool like Junlin doesn't even support his own country. If he had a normal mind, he wouldn't be in this situation now. In my opinion, within an hour, 3 hours at most, King's Landing and his independent camp will become dead dogs. What if King's Landing and his independent faction hold out until tomorrow?" an analyst couldn't help but said. The public commentator glared. "Hold on until tomorrow? Then I will do a live broadcast of standing on my head and eating shit. And right here, I pull it myself." Suddenly on the live broadcast barrage, the blockbuster WTF floated across again. But this time it was different from the last time. The number of people watching the live broadcast actually began to increase crazily. Take screenshots as proof. Regret is a grandson. Suddenly I hope that the independence camp will win. King's Landing boss must hold on for 1 more hour. Defeat again after 4 hours, so that we can not only win, but also watch the public stand on his head and eat shit. Simply perfect. Inside the Dragon City God of War Guild building, Yunfi Ian looked at the real-time picture in front of him with a solemn expression, the blood-colored barrier connecting the sky and the earth, covering the entire world like a giant bowl, and said in a deep voice, "Suchen, just as you said, the 6 realms camp has begun to build the blood space. Suchen nodded, with anticipation flashing in his eyes. He licked his lips subconsciously and said, "I just don't know how many gods and demons they will summon, anything less would be boring." Yunfi Ian looked at Suchen in astonishment, unable to recover. Suchen laughed loudly, took out a bunch of demon spirit beads, handed them to Yunfi Ian and said, "These things will be distributed to the elders of the orcs and elves later. They can save lives in critical moments. I'll leave it to you here. I'll go get ready." After saying that, his figure flashed and disappeared. Yunfi Ian was stunned for a moment, looking at the magic spirit bead in his hand, and then his beautiful eyes suddenly widened. This thing can summon demigod, god level, general, god level demon spirits. Oh my god. Where did he find such powerful props? There are a total of 84 magic beads, of which there are as many as 78 level 6 demonic beads that can summon high level god level demons. There is also a level 7 demonic bead that can summon junior general god level demons. If all of these were summoned on the battlefield, how big a shock would it cause? Yunfi Ian was surprised and happy, and quickly followed Suchen's instructions and asked reliable personnel to deliver these magic beads to the frontline tribes as quickly as possible. Elder Suchen went directly to the secret realm of the Imperial City. In Bazan Barracks, all 100,000 Dragon Knights have been upgraded to level 100. However, there are only 10,000 Golden Dragon Mounts that can be upgraded to level 100. So Suchen only summoned 9,999 Divine Demon Dragon Knights and 8 Desolate Dragon Knights. I don't know what level the attributes of these Divine and Demonic Dragon Knights will reach when they reach level 100. And the 8 Desolate Dragon Knights, in terms of qualifications and attributes, have they surpassed the Divine Demon Dragon Knights? Ding! Your God Demon Dragon Knight and 8 Desolation Dragon Knight have been upgraded to level 100. Acquire a new skill. Same robe with the sun. God and Demon Dragon Knight. Level, 100. Race, human. Race qualification, 100 stars. Loyalty, 100, no regrets even if you die. Life, 8 million. Magic, 400,000/400,000. Attack, 2 million. Defense, 500,000. Skills, Marksmanship level 20, Morale level 20, Unyielding Will, united as one, Charged Dragon, Affinity, Physique of gods and demons in the same robe as his son. Equipment, level 1, Advanced version of Dragon Rider Evolution Armor. Skill, same robe with the sun. Level, God level, colorful, active skill. After activation, damage can be shared with surrounding Dragon Knights within a range of 10,000 meters. This skill is instant and has no cooldown. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 404. See the attributes of the 100th level Divine Demon Dragon Knight. Suchen is overjoyed. 8 million lives, 2 million attacks, and 500,000 defenses, this is already a complete demigod level strength. With this kind of attribute improvement speed, when these divine and demonic dragon knights reach level 200, they will definitely reach the level of true gods. And that new skill being in the same robe with the sun surprised Suchen even more. Damage is shared within a 10,000 meter range. In this way, even if faced with an attack from a general, the 100-headed god demon dragon rider can steadily share the damage, and can even use united as one to counter-attack. Thinking of this, the corners of Suchen's mouth turned up involuntarily. Next, he checked the attributes of the 8 desolate dragon riders. 8 Desolations Dragon Knight. Level, 100. Race, human race. Qualification, 120 stars. Loyalty, 100, no regrets even if you die. Life, 12 million/12 million. Magic, 500,000/500,000. Attack, 3 million. Defense, 700,000. Skills, Marksmanship level 20, Morale level 20, Unyielding Will, united as one, Dragon Affinity, fighting in the wilderness in the same robe as his son. Equipment, level 1, Advanced version of Dragon Rider Evolution Armor. I go. The qualification of the 100 level 8 Desolate Dragon Knight actually exceeded 100 stars and reached 120 stars. The 3 main attributes of life, attack, and defense also surpass the same level of God and Demon Dragon Riders. The key Divine and Demon Dragon Knight's 100-star qualification has reached the top level. The current 120-star qualification of the 8 Desolate Dragon Knight is not his limit. Even Suchen doesn't know that this 8 Desolate Dragon Knight was originally fused with the Super God level. How far can it grow in the end? After thinking about it, Suchen flashed to the spring of life inside the ancient tree of life, took out a large pile of glass bottles larger than watermelons, and filled them all. 50,000 bottles could be filled, covering an area of tens of thousands of square meters. The water level of the spring of life actually dropped by a whole foot visibly to the naked eye. At this time, the ancient tree of life gradually woke up, and sensed Suchen's aura, and laughed and said, "Old friend, you're lying to me again. If you admit it, you have fully awakened, these fragments of the Book of Heaven, et." The ancient tree of life spoke too slowly. Before he could say 5 words, Suchen had already flashed away. The ancient tree of life was left stunned for a long time before shaking its head and laughing, and fell into a deep sleep again. Suchen took out 10,000 bottles of spring water of life, distributed to 10,000 level dragon knights. Such a large bottle of life spring water can replenish about 20 million health points. It is equivalent to tens of thousands of dragon knights, and each person has 2 more lives. Then use the same robe with the child skill to divide it evenly. Damage, it is impossible for the 6 realms camp to eliminate their own gods and demons dragon riders in a short time. Do these things well. The blood domain space outside has been constructed. There is only a line made of countless hexagonal blood-colored chips. The huge bowl-shaped cover covered the entire battlefield. It probably covered an area of no more than tens of thousands of square kilometers. It was even wider than the space covered by Xiantian Deus Ex top artifact Xiantian Cauldron. Soon. Chapter 1. A group of knight commanders, trial armies, soul generals, demon knights, red-robed monks, appeared one after another. Under the protection of the huge blood space, they sacrificed one after another. For a time, countless light beams of various colors fell from the 9 heavens. Through it. After passing through the blood space, they landed on these sacrificed NPC soldiers from the 6 realms. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Powerful and terrifying gods, demons, and ghosts emerged from the bodies of these soldiers. Billions of players across the entire server in the eyes of shock, a total of 5,000 semi-god level gods and demons, as well as 500 true god level gods and demons, rose into the sky and rushed toward the independent camp. Due to the blood space, half of the rules of the gods' domain were isolated. These arrivals, the 6 realms of gods and demons, each have 50% of their strength at their peak. Compared with when there was no blood space, their strength increased 5 times. In an instant, the independent camp felt tremendous pressure. Live broadcast suddenly, the public commentator burst out laughing. The independence camp is so stupid. Still haven't retreated yet. If I were a commander, I would definitely arrange retreats such as teleportation arrays in advance before the bloody barrier is built. Otherwise, once these thousands of gods and demons come, wouldn't all these millions of ordinary warriors be harvested like grass? However, he had just finished speaking. On the nearly 1,000-kilometer-long front of the free and independent camp, the light of tens of thousands of teleportation arrays suddenly flashed. In just 10 seconds, more than 9 million ordinary soldiers all teleported and disappeared. Only the remaining the Titan royal family, saints, elders, high priests, great wizards and others with demigod strength remained on the battlefield. The public commentators' rampant laughter suddenly stopped. The audience on the live broadcast barrage was full of ridicule and curses. What's the crow's mouth? As soon as I said teleport to retreat, the independent camp immediately teleported away. It's fine now. Such a good opportunity to kill the enemy is gone. I think this gentleman is a prophet, and his mouth passes through gold and confer light in the furnace. Even the people from the royal city of the commercial principality disappeared. Didn't all these people from the independent camp go to Dragon City? It's difficult now. Dragon City is now a mysterious giant city with abnormal defense. The key is that it can't be found anywhere. Now it is impossible to kill the independent camp in one fell swoop. The commentators in the live broadcast room also looked solemn. They began to realize a serious problem, the disappearing Dragon City. Maybe, we have all overlooked one thing. If all the people in the independent camp hide in Dragon City and do not come out, our 6 realms camp, I am afraid we will never win this all-out war. After hearing these words, the barrage immediately fell silent. A professional game analyst said with a solemn expression, in other words, from the beginning, Junlin and his Dragon City were actually on an absolute strategic high ground, invincible position. It's just, we all ignored this problem. The publicly known commentator looked pale and said, no, it can't be. I think the NPCs in the 6 realms camp will definitely have corresponding strategies. Maybe, we can lure the snake out of the hole and lure out the King's Landing bit by bit. As this publicly known commentator said, my guess is that Douglas, the holy son of the 6 realms camp, and others are currently thinking of using gods and demons to lure Suchen out. Originally, they were worried that Suchen would run away if he saw that the situation was not good. But after seeing dozens of demigod-level personnel staying on the battlefield from the independent camp, I felt a little relieved. How about it? Are all the gods and demons summoned by the first batch of 3,000 knight captains dead? Did everything you brought fall out? Holy Son Douglas asked in a deep voice. A cardinal stood carefully at the door of the conference hall and bowed according to the voice transmission from the last two winged seraphim on the battlefield. The opponent's demigod level is very powerful, and there is basically no need for us to deliberately after releasing the water, all the holy level equipment he brought fell out. Douglas nodded. Very good. With the benefits of the first time, King's Landing should be reluctant to run away the second time, right? Asmod, the great elder of the Solomon sect, frowned and said, "Does it need to be so troublesome?" Sylvia, the leader of the Dark Temple, sneered. "Fishing, especially catching big fish, you must have enough patience and means." The godson of Gilegiao Gle Jing Kong nodded and said with a smile, "Fishing is a university subject. If you want to get a good harvest, you must first select the location in advance, mix the most delicious bait with the most fragrant wine, and throw it into the selected location in advance to make a nest. In this way, when the fish get drunk from eating, it will be us. It's time for a bumper harvest." Ao Kishang, the saint of the Jade Dragon Temple, sneered, "This Junlin is the most cunning big fish. If you don't feed him, he will be scared away. Asmodeus, do you want to end up with nothing after working so hard to build the blood domain space?" Asmodeus snorted, "Don't steal the chicken but lose the rice." "Is the other party so stupid?" Douglas smiled and said nothing. The godson of the Paradise sect, Bliss Jingkong, looked somewhere in the void seemingly unintentionally, and then glanced at Douglas. The latter received the look from the godson of the Paradise sect, and sneered in his heart. Secretly said, "No. He is very smart. It is precisely because he is smart enough and possesses some powerful peeping ability that he can see through our plan. Only then will we have enough confidence, thinking that one side can swallow our bait, and the other side can escape unscathed. But, 9 out of 10 people who drown are people who can swim, and most of those who self-immolate are those who like to play with fire. What we want is his confidence and his intelligence. Only in this way will he play boldly and excitingly. And the danger, often starts from this time. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion." Author, 7 years. Chapter 405. As expected by Douglas and Bliss. Suchen is using the Solomon crystal ball in his hand to monitor the discussions of the Six Realms camp in the town meeting hall. Hear what they call bait. Suchen quickly asked Yun Feiyan to send over a list of the trophies obtained from killing the first batch of 3,000 demigods. Well, magic flame cloak, war dragon armor, ghost ring, sure enough, they are all holy weapons. These guys are really willing to spend a lot of money. Since they want to fish, then, should I be a little more reserved? The corners of Suchen's lips curled up with an evil smile. If they knew that Suchen's artifact crown of unparalleled had the imperial power attribute and the ability to store an arbitrary attack, would they still be willing to spend so much money to catch Suchen? A big fish? The Pope of the Church of Light used the Great Prophecy technique to predict in advance that Suchen could use the general level existence he summoned, so he had to stop temporarily. But he did not clearly predict this artifact. Attributes. This time, Suchen has been staying in the time and space fortress with level 4 time and space shield. It has made it impossible for the Six Realms to detect any of his actions. Even the Pope's great prophecy has failed. Sun Wushen once said, "Only when you know yourself and the enemy can you win every battle." This time, Suchen did it in the all-out war. But the Six Realms camp, which boasted of having a large number of people and being extremely powerful, did not do it. Now Suchen summoned his divine pet. Elf God Mayev Shadowzong, Elf God Tyran the Wind Speaker. Summon the general level divine pet beast God Ninetails. They were teleported to the battlefield one after another, standing together with the demigod level powerhouses of the orcs, elves, and titans. Fight together against thousands of gods and demons coming from the opposite side. Even the elf queen, who possesses elementary god-level strength, rushes to the battlefield to fight for her husband. Meteor shower. Shadow transformation. The two great elven gods, Tyrande and Maiev Shadow Song, immediately used their most powerful skills as soon as they appeared on the battlefield. Immediately, thousands of meteors flashing with dazzling light fell from the sky, falling rapidly towards the 5,000 semi-god level gods and demons. Maiev Shadow Song's figure instantly grew tenfold. He killed a demigod-level god-demon with one casual blow, and an invincible holy-level elf archer immediately emerged from the latter's exploded corpse. And as the elf god Maiev Shadow Song killed more and more gods and demons, more and more holy elf archers emerged. A line of elven archers quickly formed in front of her, causing considerable damage to the surging demigod-level gods and demons. Other demigod-level orc and elf elders, priests, wizards, and ancient war trees, together with the four royal families of the Titan clan, started fighting with the gods and demons of the six realms. Elf Queen Isabella stood behind them and cast Rain of Life to activate group healing for her own personnel. And Beast God Ninetails, who possesses general-level strength, directly transforms into the hundreds-meter-long nine-tailed celestial fox true form, rushes into the 500 true god-level gods and demons, and kills everyone. For a moment, the blood of gods and demons poured down like heavy rain. Suchen stood in the time and space fortress watching the battlefield situation, and a series of killing prompts sounded crazily in his mind. Ding! God Realm Seraph of Lightwings *110 has been killed by you. Gain experience points *1.1 billion. Ding! God Realm Light War Angel 6 Wings *5 have been killed by you. Gain experience points *2.5 billion. Ding! Heavenly Soldier Archering Bow *9 has been killed by you. Gain experience points *4.5 billion. Ding! Demon World Demon Soldier Blood Armor *11 has been killed by you. Gain experience points *5.5 billion. Ding! Demon World. All of a sudden, all kinds of sacred and semi-sacred weapons also exploded. Even because there was no blood space to absorb the blood evil energy, even the blood of gods and demons exploded countless times. At the moment, Suchen summoned Black Dragon G Mengli and teleported it to the battlefield. Under the protection of Beast God Ninetails, he used the greed skill to absorb falling items everywhere. Ding! You get holy level equipment *906. Ding! You get demigod level equipment *105. Ding! You get blood of gods and demons *30,000. Ding! Suchen laughed out loud as he looked at the rows of top-level equipment and blood of gods and demons that were refreshed in the backpack space. At the same time, the projections of the elders of various religions who were hiding in the town conference hall also sneered when they looked at the situation on the battlefield. However, the high-end combat power of the independent camp displayed by Suchen at this moment also made them secretly surprised. He actually has a general-level existence. Wasn't that nine-tailed fox seriously injured by our demon world in the battle between gods and demons 1,000 years ago? How come the strength has increased instead of decreasing? It seems that we have underestimated this guy. The bait we have thrown out so far may not be enough to attract him. Saint Ao Kishang of the Jade Dragon Temple sneered. I'm not afraid of his big appetite. I'm afraid he won't dare to eat. Pass the order. 5 elders and 10,000 high-level troops will go to support. Douglas shook his head and said, I'm afraid this is not enough. Bring out that guy and let each religion send out an elder. At the same time, send out 30,000 high-level troops. 52 generals and god-level gods and demons, plus 30,000 true god-level gods and demons. I don't believe that King's Landing has not shown up yet with his dragon riders. Sylvia, the leader of the Dark Temple, frowned and said, will scare him away. Douglas sneered, no, that guy is very brave. You know, his time and space fortress hasn't even been born yet. Li Changfeng, the great elder of Xiantian Dao sect, also said coldly, there is also Lu Yuanzong, my traitor from heaven. This time, If we don't use the power of the Lord God, I'm afraid we won't be able to really catch the big fish of King's Landing. In the live broadcast room, looking at the battle between thousands of gods and demons and the independent camp in the blood domain space, all the commentators had shock in their eyes. Unexpectedly, the independent camp forces in King's Landing actually possess such powerful gods and demons. He can actually fight thousands of gods and demons from the 6 realms and still gain the upper hand. We have all underestimated this god of death. A person who can fight against the 6 realms on his own must not be underestimated. In the live broadcast barrage, countless players who watched the battle were also deeply shocked. Although the live broadcast screen was a distant view obtained using a high-power telescope, but the earth shook, the gods and demons exploded, and the blood rain poured down. Super scene, still deeply shaken everyone's mind. Oh my god. This is much more exciting than watching special effects in a movie. We used to mock the boss of King's Landing, but their power is thousands or tens of thousands of times that of our billions of players. What qualifications do we have to ridicule others? Any god-level subordinate can kill us all instantly. This is a fight between gods. I just wait for the people who eat melons to be healthy. The public commentator on the side of the live broadcast room felt sour. It has to be said that the power of Suchen's independent camp has exceeded his imagination. But he still insisted. The 6 realms camp has not yet deployed its real combat power. I think that King Lin will have to fight the next wave of gods and demons in person. By then, the 6 realms camp will lure the snake out of the hole and kill the 7 snakes. Let's see if Jun Lin can be more arrogant. After hearing this guy's words, the live broadcast was filled with joy. Shit-eating brother, we are still waiting for you to live broadcast handstand and eat shit. Oops. It's been an hour and a half, and there's only half the time left before Shit-eater fulfills his promise. We're so looking forward to it. Don't say that, everyone, I'm just eating for the 6 realms camp. Even if it's delayed until 3 hours later, if I actually live broadcast the food, I'm eating it for the 6 realms camp. His heart is commendable. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 406. 20 minutes later. 5,000 semi-god level gods and demons, and 500 true god level gods and demons from the 6 realms camp were all killed in battle. Suchen's independent camp has a small number of people. The total number does not exceed 100 people. However, the high-end combat power includes the general level beast god Nine Tails, and at the same time, there are 84 demon spirit orbs given by Suchen in advance. This battle consumed all the demonic beads below level 6, as well as 33 level 6 demonic beads that can summon high-level god-level demons. Coupled with the elf queen sparing no effort in life healing. Only 3 elders and wizards from the orcs and elves were seriously injured and lost their combat effectiveness. And the 5-headed ancient war tree was chopped into firewood sticks by the opponent's gods and demons, and needed to be inserted into the fountain of life to sprout and grow again. Most of the others still have the strength to fight. Suchen also gained a total of 300 billion experience points and 500,000 copies of Blood of Gods and Demons. Upgrade directly now. God descends to earth. Ding. Consume Blood of Gods and Demons *10,000, and your magical skill God descends to earth will be upgraded to level 17. Ding. Consume Blood of Gods and Demons *10,000, and your magical skill God descends to earth will be upgraded to level 18. Ding. Ding. Consume Blood of Gods and Demons *10,000, and your magical skill God descends to earth will be upgraded to level 66. The level 66 God descends to earth can increase all Suchen's attributes by 76 times. Reaching medium to high God level strength. the duration at the same time is as long as 126 seconds, which is more than 2 minutes. If superimposed with super speed Evil Go Crazy Shura's attack, or even Battle of the Eight Desolations with a maximum attack speed of 100 times, then even if the Lord of Light and Lord Xiantian came to the world in person, he would not be Su Chen's opponent. Only Lu Yuanzong, who has regained his full strength, can overwhelm Su Chen. He, want to catch my big fish? I'm afraid that I will drag you down even with your people and the net. Su Chen looked at the powerful skills and sneered. At this moment, the Six Realms camp dispatched 52 elders from various religions and a total of 30,000 high-level troops, and directly started the sacrifice. In an instant, the entire building the blood space began to tremble. The more than 30,000 colorful light pillars from the Six Realms descended on this space, and their stirring divine power made the blood space seem a little unbearable. Asmo, the great elder of the Solomon sect Sylvia, the leader of Dihi Dark Temple, had to spend millions of element crystals again to stabilize this bloody barrier. When 52 general-level gods and demons from the Six Realms and 30,000 true god level when the gods and demons descended into the void, there was silence in the tens of thousands square kilometers of the entire blood domain space. The few players from the Six Realms camp who stayed at the scene and were responsible for contacting and recording real-time battlefield scenes, their hearts trembled, and their faces were filled with ecstasy. 20-Nation Alliance in the virtual conference hall, huge cheers suddenly sounded. The eyes of the War Overlord and others were blazing. Quiet, quiet. The War Overlord suppressed the excitement in his heart and said in a deep voice, this is still part of the Six Realms camp's strategy of putting out bait to catch big fish. The real god-level power has not been revealed yet, and the real trump card has not been used yet. When the great elders of each religion really use their trump card, it will be time for us to launch a general attack and seize the contribution points. Su Chen is also very happy. Damn, I'm finally willing to dispatch true god-level gods and demons in batches. My brother's magical weapon Dowdy finally has a place to be used. The last wave of the Six Realms camp's offensive only had 500 true god-level gods and demons. The number was too small. Su Chen didn't even bother to show up in person. But now 30,000 true god-level gods and demons are on the scene, along with 52 generals and god-level gods and demons. This if he uses the divine weapon Dowdy to seize the godhead after killing them all, Su Chen can create at least 30,000 gods and demon dragon knights in batches. In addition, after killing so many gods and demons, he will gain a huge amount of experience points and gods and demons dragon knights. Blood is enough to upgrade all the remaining 90,000 golden dragon babies to level 100. His God Descends to Earth skill can also be upgraded to the top of level 100. At that moment, Su Chen gave an order to Yun Feiyan to let the elves below, the orcs and titans were all teleported back to Dragon City. The three major divine pets were all put into the pet space. For a time, the independent camp became empty. This made Douglas and others who were watching the battlefield situation in the town conference hall feel a little confused. Jump. Why did they all retreat? Shouldn't they just be scared away? Douglas looked gloomy and said no. Based on what I know about him, he won't give up so easily, absolutely not. Asmodeus sneered, if this rare opportunity falls short because of your recklessness in scaring the other party away, you, the Church of Light and the Jade Dragon Temple, must bear the main responsibility. Saint Aokishang of the Jade Dragon Temple glanced at Asmod with disdain and said coldly, that guy has Lu Yuanzong, the number one god in heaven at that time, sitting in charge. How can he be scared away by a mere true god or general? Asmodeus, do you demons have shit in your head? Asmodeus was furious. If this was not the time for internal fighting, he would have eaten this holy girl with the Jade Dragon bloodline alive. The godson of the Paradise sect Bliss Jingkong once again glanced at the void seemingly unintentionally, using the secret sound technique. He said to Douglas, don't worry, that guy is still watching us. Obviously, although the fish is cunning, it is still reluctant to give up such a big bait. Hearing Bliss Jinkong's words, Douglas's eyes suddenly flashed with a few gleams, and he said in his heart, eat, eat, this is the second big meal. Wait until the third big meal bursts your belly. It's time for us to close the net. At this time, everyone in the live broadcast room and on the live broadcast barrage was surprised, happy and confused. The Six Realms camp finally launched its ultimate move. Tens of thousands of gods and demons have descended, and this damn thing can even shatter the earth. I wipe it. The Independence camp is running so fast, where have they gone? WDNMD. These guys must have fled back to Dragon City. The analyst's words really come true, as long as we can't find the location of Dragon City, their independent camp will never lose. It's over now. I still want to fish in troubled waters and get some contribution points to exchange for top equipment. Haha, I think that since the independent camp has all fled, the public commentator must be more anxious than us, right? Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 407. In the live broadcast room. Everyone couldn't help but look at the public commentator on the side. The latter's complexion instantly turned red. The vow I made before to live stream my handstand and eat shit is still in my ears. If the independent camp really hides in Dragon City and cannot come out, is he really going to make a fool of himself in front of hundreds of millions of viewers? The public commentator's face turned purple and he roared, "Bullshit, murderer! Bullshit, boss! Can such a small number of people scare you away? Get out of here and die." In the magic spring inside the ancient tree of life, Suchen was filling tens of thousands of watermelon-sized glass bottles with magic water. The artifact Dowdy consumes 10 million magic points per second to capture the Godhead. If it is to seize the general level Godhead, it will consume 100 million magic points every second. There are 30,000 God-level gods and demons and 52 general-level gods and demons outside. When the time comes to seize the Godheads in batches, how can we withstand the consumption of tens of billions of magic points per second if we don't put in more magic water? Even the devil blood bottle can't hold it. The ancient tree of life sensed Suchen's aura and woke up again, and quickly said, "Heavenly book pieces, fragments of the book of heaven." Old friend. Suchen was stunned when he heard this. What fragments of the heavenly book? The ancient tree of life received Suchen's response and said with a smile, "If you admit that you are the Qing emperor, I will give these 9 fragments of the heavenly book to you." Suchen. I go. 9 heavenly book fragments. This girl still hides such a treasure? But, why do I have to admit that I am the Qing emperor? I am who I am, a different firework. Suchen sighed. Okay, maybe, probably, maybe, a little bit, is the Qing emperor. As long as you can get the fragments of the Book of Heaven, what does it matter if you brag? You won't lose half of my hair. After receiving Suchen's answer, the ancient tree of life said, "Ha, ha, ha, ha," laughing endlessly. But the laugh was very slow and rhythmic. Just like the laughter of the sloth in the movie Animal Story, the ancient tree of life was extremely emotional and said slowly as always, "Old friend, guess, when did I know that you have fully awakened?" Suchen. I'm guessing. I don't care when you found out. Give me the fragments of the Book of Heaven first. At that moment, Suchen was pouring the magic water and urged, "I have admitted it. You should quickly get the fragments of the Book of Heaven." In the live broadcast room, the public commentator, who had been waiting for a long time, still could not see a single person from the independent camp on the battlefield. The complexion changes from red to black, and from black to white. For a moment, the other commentators looked at him with something wrong. Looking at it curiously, there seems to be a little teasing and a faint expectation. The public commentator sat stiffly in his position, feeling anxious and angry. "You bastard, coward, you better come out right now. How dare you call yourself the god of death after such a small number of people scared you away? Goddamn King's Landing. You're not really going to run away, are you? I have been harmed by you. At that moment, he was cursing in his heart, while his eyes were rolling around, thinking of ways to deal with it. Suddenly he stood up and said, well, people have 3 emergencies. Sorry, everyone, I have to go to the toilet first. Across the live broadcast room, the director immediately shouted, stop him. Now because you want to broadcast your vow to stand on your head and eat shit, the audience in my live broadcast room is going crazy. How could I let you run away like this? Even if your biological father is dead, you still have to sit there for 3 hours and eat shit before leaving. Immediately, 2 sturdy men in black forced the public commentator back to his original position. Suddenly, the live broadcast screen was filled with barrage frenzy. Wow, ha 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 ha. Quite funny. Director, do you still want to pee and escape? Where are you going to run if you don't eat shit? Common knowledge, MMP. Ha ha ha. This guy must be broken inside, right? The director is so cruel and this live broadcast room is so joyful. Hurry up and call the other live broadcast room partners over. More than 30,000 gods and demons from the 6 realms looked around blankly in the empty blood domain space without a single enemy. In the small town conference hall, 52 elders from various religions were anxiously waiting for Suchen to appear. 1 minute passed, 5 minutes passed, a quarter of an hour passed. Suchen and others were still nowhere to be seen on the battlefield. At this time, even Douglas, Ao Kishang, Gle Jingkong and others, who were the most determined, felt a little uneasy. Asmodeus, the most grumpy elder of Solomon, even yelled, it's been so long and that guy hasn't appeared yet. Are we just waiting for a group of people who have fled away like fools? Douglas used a secret message. He said to Bliss Jingkong: has Junlin spied on us again? Bliss Jingkong's face was also a little gloomy, and he slowly shook his head and said no. Could it be, he really escaped? Or, where did we leak something? Hard to say, hopefully not the latter. Let's wait a little longer. That's all. In the live broadcast room, 2 public commentators, tall and sturdy men in black, stood behind them, their backs already soaked with sweat. As a reputable public figure who attaches great importance to personal image, how could he behave like shit in public? If he really did this, he would never be able to hold his head up for the rest of his life. The public commentator was so anxious that his whole body was burning with anxiety. He loosened the tie around his neck and begged in his heart. Damn it, oh no. My dear Grandpa Junlin and Ancestor Junlin, please do as you please and come out quickly. If I don't come out, I will suffocate to death even if I don't eat shit, I really need to pee. MMP. Inside the ancient tree of life in the time and space fortress. 9 heavenly book fragments slowly fell from the void. Suchen's eyes lit up and he raised his hand. All in the backpack space. Ding. You get book fragments *9. After I fuse all the 9 fragments of the heavenly book together with the previously fused fragment of the heavenly book, I will have 10 fragments of the heavenly book in my hand. By the time I have fully understood the art of Tiangong creation, I will be able to obtain 11% of the information, which is more information than the Tiangong creation information obtained by the gods and demons of the 6 realms. I wonder to what level my mechanical engineering will be upgraded to by then? What kind of powerful engineering machinery and equipment can be built? Suchen was overjoyed. 100,000 bottles of magic water were filled here, which was enough to consume the magic value when using the artifact Daodi to seize the godhead. He immediately ignored the long-winded and slow-talking person. The ancient tree of life dodged and came to the battlefield alone. Thousands of meters ahead, more than 30,000 gods and demons who had been waiting impatiently sensed Suchen's aura, and their bodies trembled. More than 30,000 pairs of eyes looked at Suchen in unison. The terrifying god demonic pressure suddenly enveloped him alone. The great elders of the religions in the town conference hall, the heads of the guilds in the virtual conference hall of the 20-Nation Alliance, and the live broadcast, the commentators in the room, the hundreds of thousands of independent camp players in Dragon City, and the billions of players outside watching the live broadcast. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on this lonely figure standing between heaven and earth. The public commentator sitting in the seat burst into tears at this moment. Peace finally came out. It scared people to death. He raised his head and begged to the director and two sturdy men in black. "Can I go to the toilet? I really can't hold it in anymore. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion." Author, 7 years. Chapter 408. See the images projected back by the gods and demons. Douglas and others breathed a sigh of relief. Then a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth involuntarily. The fish is finally willing to surface. Bliss Jing Kong was also a little relieved and said, "This guy is really cautious, he waited for so long before he came out." Douglas smiled and said, "How about notifying the gods and demons in front of us to release some water so that the fish can eat more happily?" Ao Kishuang and others laughed. "You can have this. We finally managed to get him to show up, but we can't scare him away again. It would be better to bring out his time and space fortress, that would be even more perfect." Inside the Dragon City Guild building, Yun Feiyan looked at the lonely figure blocking the 30,000 gods and demons in the battlefield, and her heart couldn't help but clench. He really doesn't need the help of the time and space fortress. Yingying came to Yun Feiyan at some point and smiled softly. "Don't worry about master." Yingying can feel that her master is in a very happy mood now. 30,000 gods and demons are not dangerous to her master at all. Very happy, Yun Feiyan was stunned. Those were 30,000 gods and demons, not 30,000 Lolita. It was so fast. Could it be that this stinky brother is going to do something bad again? Under the bloody barrier, 30,000 gods and demons surrounded him. The leader, the most powerful general-level demon, shouted in a deep voice, "Junlin, you have violated the prohibition of our 6 realms. I advise you to surrender immediately and give up the time and space fortress. Our 6 realms may spare your life." Suchen Heihei. Unexpectedly, Suchen on the opposite side ignored them at all. There was just an inexplicable smile on the corner of his mouth, his eyes shining at them, and he even licked his lips from time to time. It looked like, just like seeing a golden roasted whole pig covered in honey and already roasted, charred on the outside and tender on the inside. I was so greedy. Or maybe they saw a Lolita with long socks, short skirt, a 4-waist, and twin tails singing, dancing, and dancing, they were so greedy. Some gods and demons even felt terrified by Suchen's gaze. "Damn, why does this guy feel like he's coveting my body?" Suchen wiped away the non-existent saliva from the corner of his mouth and smiled honestly. "What a good group of gods and demons, we can't waste it." At that moment, he directly hit Flash and came to one of the true god-level heavenly soldiers shooting bow in front of the body. Before the other party could react, he placed 5 copies of Forbidden Tears of God in his hand. Well, a true god-level demon with half the strength has a blood volume ranging from 100 million to 200 million. The damage power of Tears of God is 50 million. Excluding the defense value, 5 bottles of Tears of God are enough to send them to heaven. This true god-level heavenly weapon archering bow subconsciously looked down at the thing in his hand, and then his whole body shook wildly. Apparently she recognized what kind of dangerous thing was contained in the small crystal bottle in her hand. Suchen pinched her cheek and said sincerely, "Here, hold it, don't drop it. If you drop it, it will explode." Heavenly soldier archering bow, his complexion changed drastically. I wanted to throw it away and run away on the spot. But he was afraid that what Suchen said would explode if he dropped it, so he froze in the void, not daring to move. Suchan then flashed towards the gods and demons in other directions. 5 copies of forbidden tears of divine weeping were placed in the hands of 4 true god-level gods and demons in the 4 areas. Some gods and demons have poor psychological quality. As soon as the tears of divine weeping arrive in their hands, they immediately throw them away, scream strangely, and run away. Suchan could only stop being playful, shrugged, whistled, and detonated in advance. Boom. 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 A total of 20 copies of Tears of God burst out. Huge and gorgeous fireworks exploded. For a while, the entire blood domain space was shaking violently in huge continuous explosions. The demigod level Tears of Tears, with an explosion range reaching a radius of 10,000 meters, instantly kills all the surrounding true god level gods and demons. Ding. God Realm War Angel of Light 6 Wings * 5000 has been killed by you. Gain experience points * 2.5 trillion. Ding. Heavenly Soldier Archering Bow * 5000 has been killed by you. Gain experience points * 2.5 trillion. Ding. Demon World Demon Soldier Blood Armor * 5000 has been killed by you. Gain experience points * 2.5 trillion. Ding. Demon World. A flood of killing prompts echoed in Suchan's mind. The experience value in the experience storage tank instantly skyrocketed to an unprecedented 15 trillion. The blood of gods and demons was sprinkled into the sky as if it was free of money. A total of 30,000 true god-level gods and demons perished. Suchan did not stay away. He possesses adaptive resistance, and a series of immunity prompts appear above his head in the aftermath of explosions. Then, those god-level gods and demons with horrified faces didn't wait for them to react. Suchan directly activated the magical skill Super Speed Evil Crazy Transformation amidst the huge fireworks that were still gorgeous fighting in the 8 wastelands. The attack instantly doubled, reaching a terrifying 170 million points. And it's still a really damaging attack. At the same time, with the superposition of the 2 magical skills, the attack speed soared to 61 times. For a moment, the divine weapon Emperor Zushan was swung into an after-image. The blood-colored horses are like waves flowing toward the remaining 52 generals and god-level gods and demons. With the blessing of the magical skill Shura's Strike, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, or even 10x critical hits hit the gods and demons all around. 5x critical hit, -942,068,308. 3x critical hit, -565,240,985. 10 times critical hit, -1,884,136,617. 2x critical hit, -376,827,323. Ding. Congratulations on successfully plundering attack * 25,000 points. Ding. Congratulations on successfully plundering life * 180,000 points. Ding. Congratulations on successfully plundering defense * 2,500 points. These general level gods and demons with half the strength only have blood volume ranging from 1 billion to 2 billion. Suchan's minimum critical hit of 2 times caused nearly 400 million damage. Biggest 10 the critical hit has a damage value of close to 1.9 billion. How could these guys withstand his crazy hacking? In just 10 seconds, all the god-level gods and demons fell under Suchan's sword. The total number of attacks that landed god-level gods and demons on Suchan was less than 30. And they were all blocked by the adaptive resistance that had been upgraded to the level of god-level immunity. The experience value in the experience storage tank has once again skyrocketed by 260 billion. And this time, the 20 giant fireworks that exploded with tears of God slowly dissipated at this time. More than 30,000 gods and demons were swept away. Only Suchan is left in the sky. holding the sword and standing proudly, looking down upon the world. Billions of viewers who saw the scene were stunned and trembling. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 409. Suchen didn't waste time. Immediately summon Black Dragon G Mengli and use the greed skill to collect dropped items everywhere. At the same time, Suchen himself also took out the artifact Doughty. Connect 100,000 bottles of magic water in the backpack space to activate divine capture. For a moment, thousands of cyan light threads poured out from the artifact Doughty, scattered in all directions. There was even a faint roar of the mythical beast Doughty in the void. At the same time, the 100,000 bottles of magic water in Suchen's backpack space were being consumed crazily at a terrifying speed of 30.5 billion points of magic value per second. This consumption has far exceeded Suchen's own magic power, and also far exceeded the limit that the Devil Blood bottle can replenish. This is a real batch divine capture. Even Xiantian Dao sect has never used it like this. In other words, the Xiantian Dao sect was not as frantic as Suchen, who stole the godheads of more than 30,000 gods and demons at the same time. This scene made the elders of various religions in the small town conference hall dumbfounded and terrified. This was a total of 30,000 true god-level gods and demons, and 52 general-level gods and demons. Just like that, they were all slaughtered by that guy in just 10 seconds. When it's over, not only will all the things that were exploded be looted. In the end, he didn't even spare the corpse, and even used divine capture. Squeeze the last remaining value from the flesh and bones. Damn, the food looks too ugly. Even Esmod, the great elder of the Solomon sect who acted without any taboos, saw this scene with his eyelids twitching wildly. In the field, Li Changfeng, the great elder of Xiantian Dao sect, was so shocked that his eyes almost popped out of his head. This is, the artifact of my Xiantian Dao sect, gluttony. Isn't it in the hands of my second junior brother Ge Xingdao? How did you get to him? Could it be that my second junior brother has already? Asmodeus mocked coldly. Your Xiantian Dao sect is really a treasure gifting boy. You gave me a top-notch artifact Xiantian Cauldron before, and this time I gave you another artifact Doughty. Haha, I teach Solomon I really admire you. Ao Kishang, the saint of the Jade Dragon Temple, recovered from the shock, quietly swallowed a mouthful of saliva, calmed down, and said coldly, it seems that this fish has a strong temper and a big appetite. All the gods and demons don't seem to be able to satisfy his appetite. Douglas also looked a little gloomy. Suchen's power had exceeded his expectations. Even without the tears of divine weeping, these 30,000 gods and demons could not do anything to him. Bliss Jingkong used secret techniques to transmit the message: this fish is too slippery. It is not safe to lead him out alone. Only by destroying his time and space fortress at the same time can we ensure a great victory. Why not add another big wave of bait? Summon 100,000 gods and demons, and we will work together to attract the power of a Lord God and force him out of his time and space fortress. When the time comes, you can use void annihilation to destroy them in one fell swoop. While the elders of the Six Realms camp were discussing in the battlefield, Suchen stepped on the black dragon and his mind moved. In the extremely shocked eyes of everyone, he summoned a total of 10,000 golden gods and demon dragon knights. 10,000 heads and 100 levels. The moment the golden dragon was born, they immediately raised their heads and let out a thunderous roar. The golden scales reflected the light of the sun. There were like two huge golden wings on both sides of Suchen, adding power to him. And Suchen himself stood on the black dragon, standing in the middle, slowly stretched out his right thumb towards the void in front, and then stabbed it downwards. Then, he turned his hand over and hooked into the void in front of him. That action, that look, the indescribable unruliness and provocation. This scene was faithfully recorded by the players who were left on the edge of the battlefield, and the surveillance devices deployed by the Six Realms camp. This scene was transmitted to all directions at the speed of light. For a time, no matter it was the live broadcast rooms of major platforms, the billions of viewers watching the live broadcast, or the elders of various religions in the small town conference hall, and the hundreds of thousands of players in Dragon City, everything was silent. Just now one person slaughtered 30,000 gods and demons. Now he summoned tens of thousands of golden gods and demons to appear on the dragon cavalry. What is this? Show off your power? Or show off your muscles? Appa Junlin is so handsome. The Lun family has fallen. Too strong, is this his true strength? He is worthy of being the first person in the entire server. I like this gesture and this character. As outstanding as I am, I think only Junlin in the world can hold down this young lady. I want this little brother who has the black dragon on his feet. What are you thinking about upstairs? Brother Junlin only belongs to our Fire Phoenix Guild Women's Army. Inside the town meeting hall, Asmod, the great elder of the Solomon sect, roared angrily, provocation. Provocation. This is Chi Luoluo's provocation. Sylvia, the leader of the Dark Temple, looked at the god-demon level dragon knight in the picture, her pupils shrinking suddenly. Actually, a dragon cavalry regiment at the level of gods and demons has evolved. This guy's strength growth rate is really terrifying. Saint Aokishang of the Jade Dragon Temple said solemnly, we can't delay it any longer, we must destroy him as soon as possible. Once he is given enough time to grow up, I am afraid he will be the next Qing emperor. Aokishang's words made everyone present. The figures of the elders all trembled. There is a look of fear in the eyes. Even though it has been thousands of years, the name Blue Emperor is still the biggest taboo in everyone's heart. Even just mentioning it is enough to make people's hands and feet feel cold and their hearts are chilled. Bliss and Jing Kong looked at the aloof person in the picture. The figure said with a gloomy face, his appearance is conveying a meaning to us, he knows all our strategies. The bait for 30,000 gods and demons is not enough. Not enough? Asmod said angrily, do you want me to sacrifice myself to summon the projection of the main god? Bliss Jing Kong nodded slowly. Asmodeus quickly turned his head and said, go ahead. I don't go. There are more important things to do in the rest of my life. Douglas, who had been silent all this time, suddenly laughed. Using the voice transmission technique, he said to the crowd, actually, Junlin's current arrogance is exactly what we want. He thinks he understands our overall plan, and thinks he can eat all the bait we have laid out and get rid of him all over the body, and retreated, thinking that there was nothing we could do against him, thinking that we could sit back and relax with the time and space fortress, haha. Unfortunately, he was wrong. How wrong? The top magic void annihilation is so powerful that it can not only kill the Lord God, but as long as it is locked, no teleportation or teleportation can escape. Even the soul will be eliminated and will never be resurrected. Everyone, it is now the final carnival moment of a banquet. If you want to make it die first, you must first make it crazy. I will tell my lord, the Pope, to be ready to use the great prophecy to lock it at any time. At the same time, our top magic void annihilation is also in a state that can be activated at any time. Next, use all the power we can. Make all the noise and tricks we can. Raise the carnival of this feast to the highest level. Draw out all the power of King Lin and attract all his attention. And a trace of cold murderous intent flashed across Douglas's eyes, and he said with a smile, at the moment when the feast and carnival reaches its peak, I will launch a fatal blow. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 410. Thousands of miles of sky, under the bloody barrier. 10,000 golden god demon dragon riders lined up behind Suchen in silence. The terrifying aura and killing intent caused ripples in the surrounding space. After Suchen completed the gestures and succeeded in provocation, he concentrated on seizing the godhead. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the true god level godhead about to collapse *650. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the true god level godhead about to collapse *1000. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the general level godhead about to collapse *16. Ding! The process of seizing the godhead was very smooth. The divine heads that are about to collapse are arranged in groups in the backpack space. In Suchen's view, these are not gods without divine power, but a powerful god-level dragon rider. More than 30,000 divine heads about to collapse are more than 30,000 powerful gods and demons dragoons. However, the total number of dragon knights he has recruited now has reached the order of 100,000, and there may be more in the future. If you want them all to evolve into the divine demonic dragon riders, this godhead is not enough. Therefore, he will show off his golden gods and demons dragon cavalry army, show off his muscles, and show off his provocation, so that the Six Realms camp will send more gods and demons for him to slaughter. Suchen believed that the Six Realms camp would not be stingy. What they want is Suchen's life. And destroy the entire space-time fortress. Kill all hopes of the Independence camp. As long as you can get rid of the root cause and pay a price for it, what does it matter? You know, the power and potential that Suchen is showing now is enough to alarm the Six Realms. What's more, as early as the battle in Storm King City, Suchen used Lu Yuanzong, the number one god in the heavens, to powerfully kill the projections of the three main gods, the great god of light, the great demon of Suoluo, and the Dao Lord Xiantian. The world of gods, demons, and heaven have long been furious. What Ao Kishang said, once he is given enough time to grow up, I'm afraid he will be the next Qing emperor, was not a majestic threat. But it is really possible. For this reason, the Six Realms camp will not hesitate to pay no matter how high the price is this time. In the void? Wait until all 30,000 true god-level coins and 52 general god-level godheads about to collapse are put into the space backpack. The cyan light that filled the entire battlefield finally slowly entered the artifact Daudi. Next, Suchen gathered up some of the remaining broken limbs of gods and demons on the battlefield, preparing to throw them back into the heavenly universe formation to increase the total energy of the center of the formation. The gods and demons of the Six Realms are all treasures. This sentence was best demonstrated by Suchen. When the elders of various religions saw this scene, their eyelids twitched wildly again. Damn, the food looks too ugly. This is leaving no residue at all. It was at this time that the Six Realms camp finally launched its final general attack. A heavy horn sounded slowly. 10 million NPC cavalry from the Six Realms camp formed a line stretching for hundreds of kilometers. The battle line slowly moved towards Suchen. Behind, a million knight commanders sacrificed themselves under the protection of the blood domain space and summoned demigod-level gods and demons. Immediately afterwards, 100,000 judge troops and soul generals waiting for high-level troops to summon true god-level gods and demons. There are 2 elders from each of the 30 major sects and 22 minor sects in the Six Realms camp, a total of 104 people. They smiled and chanted the spell, and summoned 104 general-level gods with terrifying auras from the Six Realms. Demon. For a time, more than 1 million gods and demons occupied almost 1/3 of the blood domain space. Looking up, the sky and the earth were filled with countless gods and demons. The void fluctuated. The entire blood domain space was violently, it started to tremble. Seeing this scene, all religious forces invested massive amounts of elemental crystals regardless of the cost to stabilize the blood domain space. Players from the Six Realms camp also received orders from the elders of each religion, all attack. Attack the unguarded business, the princely city, disturb the enemy. At first, the war overlord and others received this order, but they refused in their hearts. Damn, this has escalated to a war between gods and demons. If we ask us players to come up, aren't we going to be cannon fodder? Whatever. If a god and demon smashes down, a lot of people will die. But this order is a mandatory order. If you don't go, you can automatically withdraw from the Six Realm camp. After the total war is over, wait for the liquidation of the Six Realm agent forces. This is still come on? If you go, even if you die in battle, you can still have the merit of following the dragon, and you will enjoy endless food and drink in the future. If you don't go, it will be worse than death. From now on, the Six Realms camp will dominate the Divine Continent. How can they still be there? The place where the cone was established? For a time, the 20-nation alliance led nearly 100 million players and teleported to the battlefield from major cities. There was a tragic feeling that the heroes were gone and never returned. But who knew, at this moment? A total of 5,000 the second-level players of Wanzi Kingdom suddenly rushed into the battlefield. They formed an army faster than the army of the 20-nation alliance, and immediately rushed towards the royal city of the commercial prince opposite like crazy. Damn it! What's the situation? Damn, if these Z country players don't come out, I thought there are no Z country guys who will change jobs and join the Six Realms camp for the second time. How come they all look like they've been injected with chicken blood? Rush over and die. Damn it! I understand. They must have seen that a general attack was about to begin, so they rushed to occupy the royal city and grab contribution points. WDNMD. It's so gloomy. What are you waiting for? Before the war between gods and demons begins, hurry up and rush. If you run too slowly, you won't be able to catch anything. In the virtual conference hall of the 20-nation alliance. Seeing this scene, the faces of the war overlords and others turned black. Yes. These hateful Z country guys, when they were called to the battlefield before, they said that liberalism was prevalent and the troops were difficult to lead. It would take 10 hours to assemble the troops. Now they were assembled in 3 fucking minutes, and each one of them was running faster than a rabbit. Quick. We can't wait any longer. Although the people of Country Z are disgusting, they are indeed smart. The new war between gods and demons has not officially started yet. Taking advantage of this gap, we rushed to the royal city of the commercial prince. On the one hand, you can occupy the royal city to grab contribution points, and on the other hand, you can avoid the impact of the upcoming war between gods and demons. Throw away the baggage and move forward at full speed. Be sure to capture the royal city before the players from Country Z. In the vast battlefield, the person running at the front was the guild leader of the Bolugo Imperial City Soul Battle Bawang, who had once had a relationship with Suchen. This guy is currently a high-ranking missionary from the Church of Light. Identity. But in reality, he is one of the top families in Country Z, and he seems to be slightly distantly related to Yun Fi Ian. At this time, Soul Battle Bawang rode a small flying dragon, leading the guild members to run wildly. While speaking to Yun Fi Ian on the voice channel, Yun Fi Ian said, "Sister-in-law, should we board the royal city first and defend the city against the forces of the 20-nation alliance, or should we rebel now?"